Another exhilarating afternoon of sport here on Grandstand. Don't you miss it. But of course, as always, it's time for us to go on one of the most exciting weekends of the Football League season. The FA Cup third round kicks off, and what a better way to go for Trevor Lineker, who's presenting Football Focus. Good afternoon. The FA Cup third round. Is it the most exciting weekend in the year? Well, Trevor thinks so. We'll hear more from Trevor in a bit, but first here on Focus, it's a chance for us to look back at last weekend's Premiership results if you missed them. And we'll start off with Manchester United, that hosted Everton at Old Trafford. Manchester United kept up the pressure at the top of the Premiership by going 2 points clear, and Paul Scholes was able to lay a ghost of the 1995 FA Cup final. A wonderful turn past Dave Watson, stunning finish past Paul Gerrard. The Manchester United little ginger ninja got the opening goal. And in the absence of David Beckham that was rested, it was Scholes that was on corner duty, Nicky Butt was on scoring duty. Manchester United's midfield ran this one, and United comfortably marching ahead. You know, it's tough at the top, but Chelsea know they've got to be more consistent if they are to be title challengers this season. Babayaro's excellent run and wonderful vision to pick out Gianfranco Zola was great to give Chelsea the lead, but right on the stroke of half-time they gave it all away. Robbie Earle's cross, Marcos Gale's brilliant header that completely caught out Ed De Hoy. Chelsea never really had enough in reply. A big Coca-Cola Cup game in them in midweek. And Chelsea's opponents, well, how did they do? Well, they absolutely tore apart Leicester City. Bergkamp was majestic in his brilliant pass through that was easily finished by Ian Wright, that is starting to look like his old self again. And two arrived one controversial moment of the match. Mark Overmars was through, adjudged to have taken out Walsh, referee waved play on. Overmars found Bergkamp for his easiest finish of the season. But there are cracks in this Arsenal defence, and it showed again here. Nobody picking up Neil Lennon that was able to stomp all the way past Steve Bold and beat David Seaman at the near post. Lots to ponder for Arsenal, lots to ponder for Leicester.
Good ball in towards Robbie Fowler, cleared away by the Leeds backline, comes to Ince. Now Jason McAteer for Liverpool, Robbie Fowler! And there's the opener, quarter of an hour on the clock, and it's Robbie Fowler at the Kop end. Liverpool take a deserved lead. They've dominated the early stages, and Nigel Martyn is beaten by a wonderful strike by Robbie Fowler. Bowyer. Out to Harry Kewell on the right hand side. Australian looking to make space. And it's a penalty. Dermot Gallagher points at the spot. McManaman adjudged to have fouled Harry Kewell. And as much as Liverpool protest, the decision remains the same. Kewell cut in on his left hand side. It looked like McManaman got the ball, but it's a penalty. It will be David Hopkin for Leeds United, who equalises. Leeds are level, and it's David Hopkin from the spot. Boos echo around Anfield as we look at the penalty decision once more. But no mistake by Hopkin from 12 yards, sent James the wrong way. It's 1-1. Redknapp. McAteer, McManaman went up for the ball, comes out to Redknapp on the edge. McManaman! Liverpool back ahead, and it's Steve McManaman. Harshly adjudged to have fouled Harry Kewell quarter of an hour ago, but he has made amends by firing Liverpool back into the lead. It's a brilliant left-footed strike by Steve McManaman. Redknapp. Riedler! Good save by Martin. Comes back to Karl-Heinz Riedler, who this time finds the back of the net. And that should secure all 3 points for Liverpool. Karl-Heinz Riedler. Great save to initially deny him. But the ball came back to Riedler, and the German scores for Liverpool. Ian Hart over the set piece, goes for goal. And what a goal it is! Oh, that is exceptional by Ian Hart. Off the underside of the crossbar. No chance for David James, who barely moved. Leeds back in it. And what a grandstand fish we're in for here. It's 3-2 now. Redknapp. McAteer. Towards Robbie Fowler, who does well. And Bjornaby's in the middle. And he's beaten Nigel Martin. Liverpool immediately restore their 2-goal advantage. And it's Stiging of Bjornaby. Wonderful play on the right by Robbie Fowler, who kept the ball in and then had the composure to deliver a wonderful cross onto the head of the Norwegian. Nigel Martin should have done better, but Liverpool go 4-2 ahead.
Well, this is what the top of the FA Premiership looks like at the moment. 20 games in, so 18 to go, all to play for. Manchester United have a 2-point lead over Chelsea, and Arsenal are also keeping track. Those two, of course, met in midweek in the Coca-Cola Cup. Liverpool, you'd probably say they aren't out of it. Outsiders, probably with Blackburn Rovers at the moment. Trevor, I want to get your thoughts really on that league table. Is that how the season's going to finish, do you think? I don't know, really. I think one of the factors that's very apparent, I would say, on what we've seen here is, again, pressure tells, and Manchester United have the squad which is capable of it. My gut instinct still thinks Manchester United will win it unless Arsenal or Chelsea or even Liverpool can put together a consistent run of games. I'm not convinced with Liverpool this season. They just seem to be lacking something they didn't have last season. Chelsea and Arsenal, I think, have the tools to do it. It's just where they've got the squad to do it. I think the only thing that could be saving those two is if Manchester United potentially go well in Europe, then perhaps their focus will turn to Europe because, you know, we saw what they were last night. The European focus did affect their league form, but we'll wait and see. Well, it's not just the top of the Premiership where it's getting interesting. The fight to stay in is also just as interesting at the moment. And our recap starts at the big 6-pointer between Bolton and Barnsley. Bolton Wanderers and Barnsley had that big relegation 6-point field to them. Last season this would have been for promotion. Nicky Eden was able to steal the ball on, and Ashley Ward was to show his cool finish, showing that he still has Premiership quality to keep Barnsley in the mix. But Bolton Wanderers themselves did find level, and it was Dean Holdsworth and Nathan Blake that combined to get it for them. Holdsworth played it through to Blake that had enough strength, vision and power to strike the ball in and to get a well-deserved point for Bolton. Crystal Palace were too good for Southampton in this game. The best efforts of the Saints weren't shown by this excellent tunnels by Sansa Kurjic. Then the pass into Shipley, the touch, the finish, the roar. Crystal Palace hadn't won at home all season until this time. Paul Jones's pull throw out was eventually picked up by Attila Lombardo. He slided across to Brolin. It was a real scramble in front of goal, and eventually Dyer was there to finish from 4 yards. An easy goal, but a huge goal for Palace. Wednesday in Rovers really was a pretty poor game. This was the best moment of it. Carboni's run past Hendry and a lovely backheel effort from Di Canio that just whipped wide. Newcastle United travelled away to Goodison Park, and it could be this game of two struggling sides. That would have you believe with a wonderful win that was taken here by Derby County. You may not remember Solis, but he got the opening goal, and it was enough to give them all 3 points as everyone here at Pride Park starts to settle into their new home. Worrying times for Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. They really are starting to struggle, particularly away from home. But they did open the account here at Villa Park with this absolutely magnificent goal. As the pressure heaped on Brian Little, Villa Park thought it would be one of those days. But it turned out to be anything but. Milosevic and Grayson combined brilliantly in the area, and a cool finish past Ian Walker was able to bring Aston Villa level. And not before long, they were up and ahead in the game. This effort was fantastic save by Joachim, but despite a heroic dive by Ian Walker, there was nothing he can do to deny Milosevic. And then a third arrived with an excellent pass by Joachim that was brilliantly controlled by Milosevic, strength to hold off, and the wonderful finish again, and Villa were 3-1 ahead. And at this point it seemed inevitable that a fourth would arrive. Who would get it? Well, Ian Taylor was doing it again. Again, Joachim with another assist, Taylor here with a really cool finish. Aston Villa 4-1 up at half time and strolling. Spurs, more worries. West Ham United just thought this wasn't going to be their day when the match kicked off, especially when Paul Kickson headed the ball home and was incorrectly ruled offside by the linesman. And then the chances continued to arrive, and what we saw was one of the performances of the season by Magnus Hedman. He just continued to make save after save after save, and then when the chances did arrive, they flashed wide of the post. Jeff Purves was watching and said it reminded him of England's game against Poland in 1973. You know, Tomaszewski and the clown and all that. But that you couldn't say anything about that. Good luck, heroic defending and some phenomenal goalkeeping made sure the game that wasn't to be broken. Still, the best chance arrived where Sinclair's effort clipped off the top of the bar, and when Lazaridis' effort was paired away, you thought that was all over. But in the end, a bit of good fortune would tell for West Ham. A mistake here from Gary McAllister, hesitation, and John Hartson was able to respond to it and strike the ball in. Absolute relief for West Ham that certainly deserved it, but heartbreak for Coventry City, who really feel that this should have been a game they had drawn. Well, here is the bottom of the FA Premiership. Everton completely rooted to it. What a tough task tomorrow. They'll go play Newcastle United in the third round of the Cup. Barnsley have also drifted away, so those two are by themselves at the bottom. And then you've got Wednesday, Southampton, Bolton. Realistically, Coventry aren't safe at the moment. Would you say West Ham and Palace are potentially in there? I mean, let's be honest. Anyone could find themselves. I kind of think so. I look at the squads. I think Spurs and Villa should have a good enough squads. I probably think the same with West Ham and Coventry. Personally speaking, I think both of those would be okay. I'm worried about Crystal Palace. Their form has not been great recently, and they're starting to slip down the table. So are Bolton, and I thought out of the three sides promoted, potentially Bolton were perhaps the best equipped. The one team I am desperately worried for, well, I don't know, it's interesting because I look at Wednesday, I look at Southampton, and I think there are results there for them to take this season, particularly Wednesday. I just think they're recovering from such a bad start. I'm worried about Everton, your old club. I know, I'm worried too. If you think about them, they can't score, and they can't defend, there's no confidence, they're really, really struggling. They have got to put on the sort of form that you would expect to challenge for Europe, maybe even challenge for the title to sort of recover in the second half of the season, and I just don't know where that's going to come from. Well, it's not just our opinions at the moment on how sides have gone this season. We spoke to some of the leading managers at the moment to get their views on how they think their sides are doing at the moment. Oh yeah, terrific, terrific. I think the only problem we have here is we've got a good set of players, good set of squads. I mean, Artson and Kitty, they're starting to link up a bit. They're starting to find themselves, which is decent to see. I think definitely we could be all right. I think we've had some good moments, perhaps not as what we had last season. I think maybe that's a bit of the frustration at the moment, but we've got a lot of young players coming through. Young Franks as well. We've got a youngster coming through in the reserves, lad named Joe Cole. I think we've got some special times ahead. Well, I think very much so that we've gone very well this season, and I think we're not getting the respect. We've played some good football, and I think you'd be completely bananas to say that we haven't played well enough. Well, the Premiership took a back seat in midweek last week for the Coca-Cola Cup semi-finals. In the results at the moment, Arsenal leading by Chelsea 2-0, and Middlesbrough with a 1-0 lead at the moment over Middlesbrough at the moment. And we spoke to the managers after this one. Very pleased. I think we perhaps could win more. I think we play very well. I do not think Chelsea play good. I think we play very good, and I think a good chance to go through. Yeah, sure. Well, it's very disappointing to see the team play like this. It's making me need a smoke and a pancake, but I know, we can play better, and we'll play it when we go at home. It could be big for us. We may be able to do that from there. Well, the pressure on in both of those games, Trevor. Are Arsenal in the final, or can you see Chelsea coming back at Stamford Bridge? I think potentially. I think Chelsea have beaten Arsenal this season at Stamford Bridge, so I think Chelsea might fancy it if they can get an early goal. And they can put Arsenal under pressure. The only problem is that Arsenal backline is just absolutely resolute and built for these sort of occasions to hold it off. It's why they did so well in the Cup Winners' Cup, really. That just the ability to hold on to a lead, and I think that could be some of the factors which play into the game today. I think we could see. I suppose the closer ties potentially Liverpool and Middlesbrough, just 1-0 at the moment. It's a great goal with that Leonardson scored. But how do you think Borough, the last remaining Football League side, could they reach the final? Well, I think they've got a chance. I mean, they've not got what I would consider to be a First Division squad. They've got a Premiership squad. They've got some proven players at top quality level. Paul Merson, Paul Gascoigne, Andy Townsend. It's a really, really good side that they've got here. So I think to a certain extent Middlesbrough, they could have the opportunities to move forward, and they certainly could line up as the game goes on. Well, our weekend will always turn to the FA Cup third round at the moment. Here are some fixtures to let you know about at the moment. This was the draw for the third round that we saw just last month. Some ties that stand out for you, Trevor. I think Liverpool Coventry City certainly stands out. It's, all Premiership third round games certainly do. You look at some of those that you think to yourself, it could be a really, really difficult afternoon for some of those sides. Blackburn Rovers Wigan, that's a nice sort of local game. Then you look at some of the others. And I think this is where it gets it very, very interesting. Bolton and Barnsley again. It wasn't a great game that the two got through, but Barnsley at home again, it could be really important. Portsmouth Villa, I think that's a potential banana skin. I look at some of the others. I fancy Arsenal to get through quite comfortably on Port Vale. Well, the one you may note there is Little Emily, the Yorkshire side that's made it all through the qualifyings and first and second round proper to get here today, rewarded with a trip to West Ham United that famously went out last season in the snow to Wrexham. Speaking of bad weather, there are some games which are postponed at the moment. So Darlington, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Bournemouth Huddersfield, West Brom Stoke, Cheltenham Reading, Hereford, Tranmere and Peterborough United and Walsall have all been postponed. Those games will be played when we have the replays, and then the replays for those will be played a week following, because this is the Football League in the 90s and everything makes sense. It's not all the games though. There are some lined up tomorrow. Everton, Newcastle, Chelsea, Manchester United and Wimbledon Wrexham will all play tomorrow. Spurs play Fulham on Monday evening. Just to let you know, Radio 5 Live will have coverage of the Chelsea-Manchester United game if you wish to tune in. Trevor, out of all the games, we're at the third round of the Cup. It's a big moment. Who do you think's going to progress? Well, when I look at what's happened and how these teams are playing at the moment, you've got to look at who's dominated the Cup and who's been the side to beat this season. Man United have been that side, but the European Cup is certainly taking their interest away. Chelsea defending champions, if they could beat Man United, maybe they can put on the sort of run that they did last season. I'd say if you're looking for an outside shot, maybe you're looking for someone to sort of find some form out of nowhere, maybe a Blackburn Rovers, maybe a Leeds United. maybe a Liverpool perhaps. It's going to be, I think, as it tends to be in the Cup, whoever can knock out Man United and just get it together at the right stages. I think, the European Cup's always going to distract Man United. If they're in the Cup and they go out of the European Cup, it may focus them. We'll wait and see. Well, there's no chance of them winning all 3 trophies, is there? No. Well, to be fair, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool, the only sides in the shout at the moment with a treble, aren't they? But it would be a domestic treble. Yes, of course, you can find out more about that. In the weekend in which the FA Cup third round kicks off and the Premiership will return, never see it again. Right, I suppose we better go over and looking all the FA Cup third round results as we get going here with final score. The results are flying in at the moment. So it's the FA Cup third round that takes priority. Arsenal 0, Port Vale 0 is a result. Shocker that was in the All Premiership game. Blackburn 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Blackburn Rovers have beaten Wigan Athletic 4-2. Chris Sutton scoring there. Bristol Rovers and Ipswich will go to a replay. Swindon Town and Stevenage Borough, well, they've beaten them, haven't they, the former Premiership side in the end. Watford and Wednesday also goes to a replay. And West Ham United have beaten the Yorkshire qualifiers all the way from the first round, Emley 2-1. Goal flash you've just seen there, Paul Telfer has scored. Liverpool 3-1 down to Coventry City at the moment. It's not looking great. Preston North End have lost at home to Stockport County. Queen's Park Rangers have taken Middlesbrough, who've got a Coca-Cola Cup semi-final second leg to come. That'll go to a replay. Sunderland have beaten Rotherham by 5-1. Great results for Bury, draw with Sheffield United. Cardiff City have been able to sneak a win over Oldham Athletic. Biggest shock of the day, Charlton Athletic of the First Division have beaten Nottingham Forest, who were only in the Premiership last season. Birmingham City have beaten Crewe Alexandria. Portsmouth and Aston Villa have drawn 2 apiece. Now for the Port Vale reaction at Highbury from Trev Motson.
6,000 Port Vale fans are going absolutely potty to my left-hand side. John Rudge's team have held Arsenal to a goalless draw at Highbury. Goalkeeper Paul Musselwhite was Vale's hero, denying Petit, Vieira and Overmars. And when he was beaten, the woodwork came to Vale's aid. Anelka hitting the post and Winterburn striking the crossbar. There was a late chance for substitute Martin Foyle, but he was unable to beat Seaman. We'll go again in just over a week's time. It's finished Arsenal 0, Port Vale 0.
Well, terrific result that is for Port Vale there. More results have come in. Grimsby Town beaten Norwich City quite brilliantly. Leeds United have also walked quite easily past Oxford United 4-0 there. Goals once again for Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Leicester City beaten Northampton Town. Leicester City's form struggling at the moment, so good to see them in. Confirmed to you that Liverpool were beaten 3-1 to Coventry. Man City beaten Bradford. Let's get reaction from the Coventry game. Trevor Davis is at Anfield. The boos rain out across Anfield, particularly the Kop, for just how disappointingly Liverpool have gone out of the FA Cup this afternoon. In truth, it was Coventry City's best performance of the season. At times unplayable, Darren Huckabee will rightly claim man of the match. He was outstanding, and his partnership with Dion Dublin was far too much for the defensive partnership of Kramer and Steve Hartness and Dominic Matteo. But in the 7th minute it was all good for Liverpool when Jamie Redknapp scored from an excellent free kick to give themselves the lead. Despite a brilliant flick on and volley from Darren Huckabee that struck the post, it looks as if Liverpool were going to head in ahead. That wasn't until a mesmeric one from Darren Huckabee that tore his way right through the Liverpool defence and was able to equalise on the halfway mark. In the second half, Huckabee was still unplayable, and eventually Dion Dublin would find the room after an excellent save to tap in from 3 yards. Liverpool put the pressure on, but in the end were caught out. George Boateng had a fantastic chance to seal the game, but couldn't. But in the 87th minute, Paul Telfer was played through after a Huckabee effort had struck the post and tapped in to seal a memorable performance for Coventry City. Okay, well, let's round up all the results of today. Read to you FA Cup third round by Tim Gudgeon. FA Cup sponsored by Littlewoods. Third round, Liverpool 1, Coventry City 3, Preston North End 1, Stockport County 2, Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leicester City 4, Northampton Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 4, Wigan Athletic 2, Grimsby Town 3, Norwich City 0, Crewe Alexandra 1, Birmingham City 2, Derby County 2, Southampton 0, Swindon Town 1, Stevenage Borough 2, Sheffield United 1, Bury 1, Leeds United 4, Oxford United 0, Manchester City 2, Bradford City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Middlesbrough 2, Barnsley 1, Bolton Wanderers 0, Bristol Rovers 1, Ipswich Town 1, Portsmouth 2, Aston Villa 2, West Ham United 2, Emley 1, Crystal Palace 2, Scunthorpe United 0, Cardiff City 1, Oldham Athletic 0, Charlton Athletic 4, Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0, Port Vale 0, Rotherham United 1, Sunderland 5. Well, the FA Cup third round has certainly delivered again. What a weekend. Some brilliant results. The fourth round tie to come on Monday. You can catch the radio commentary of Chelsea Manchester United as well as Monday's game on Radio 5 Live. But from us here, thank you very much for watching and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching here this match on Trevor Sports. If you've liked it, please don't be afraid to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And if you do fancy it, head on over to Ko-fi. The link is in the description. Buy me a coffee for all the hard work. Other than that, make sure you enjoy more games coming up.